Welcome back to the show. Today we're diving into one of the most strategic plays in franchise ownership, franchises that include real estate build-outs. These are deals where you're not just buying into a proven business model, you're also acquiring or developing a physical asset. Joining me is Beau Eckstein, SBA lending strategist and franchise consultant. Beau, let's talk about how real estate plays a role in building long-term wealth through franchising. Ready?
I am.
All right. Why do some franchise models include a real estate build-out, and what types of franchises usually fall into this category?
There's a lot of QSR, quick serve restaurants, coffee shops, automotive. Pretty much a lot. Like if you're driving around and you see these restaurants or these automotive places, like in a shopping center, and then there's standalones. Usually they're building out, and those are like a perfect place. Like you can own that pad. They sell the pads. Sometimes you do like a long-term lease, but you still own the real estate. So there's all these ways. And so I think the big writing on the wall for me is watching these really wealthy franchise business owners, etc., and why they like these business models, because it's cookie cutter, right? They open one, they get it running, then put a GM in place. They do it again and again. You also see that in like schools and children's schools, like preschools. They're going to buy the building, or they're going to build the building. They're going to get all of that appreciation as that building is built, and they build the equity in that building over time. They pay it on the loan. More equity is created. They get all of the depreciation, all the tax advantages. So I think this is very viable. You can either use the 7A or the 504 on these types of build outs. And it's a big place where you can really utilize a government guaranteed loan program like SBA to leverage into these deals, and then ultimately, create a lot of wealth. Just like McDonald's owns all the real estate generally, right? And I believe they lease it back to their franchisees. So McDonald's is really a real estate company, not a company that serves burgers.
Yeah, you mentioned that SBA 7A and 504 loans can be used for this type of arrangement. Give us an example for both of how this financing might work on a deal like this.
It really depends on how much equity the borrower can come in with and the total project cost. If it's a bigger deal, we're always going to go 504 generally. But sometimes the 7A makes sense. And the 7A, sometimes we'll do a 504 with a companion 7A. They both have really different uses, but they can be paired together. The 7A sometimes makes more sense because it's more of a flexible product and it's quicker. But once we understand the dynamics of the project, we can give you better strategic advice. Usually on a startup, you're going to get much higher leverage on an SBA 7A versus a 504. 504 is usually going to cap you about, they cap you at, you can go up to 90%, but if it's a startup and the buildings can shoot as special purpose, you get you'll have a 10% haircut. So you're at 80 to 85% versus 90% financing on a 7A. So sometimes the 7A does make sense, but we really look at the deal itself. And ultimately, the real secret is the 504. You can do a lot bigger deals, and you can do the 504 green, which means, let's just say you opened, a Beef O'Brady restaurant, and you own the building, and now you want to open another one and another one. You're going to run out of your aggregate SBA financing. But if you do the SBA 504 green, you can essentially do as many as possible because you're not capped. So that is really the power of this. And so like I see this as a big play. And I think later down the road, the nice thing is you could still own the real estate and you could sell off the business and just be a landlord. So it's actually really strategic.
What are some of the challenges or risks to be aware of when it comes to build outs, especially for first-time owners?
Well, working with contractors, and I can speak for that, is challenging. Budgets usually go over. Time frames usually go longer. The cost of everything is going up with tariffs and all this stuff. So understanding construction and really being able to manage that construction element. But if you can do that efficiently, I think there's so much upside. The upside potential usually outweighs any of the risk. But you have to go in there and really know your numbers and get multiple bids and really get a competent contractor. And that's the nice thing about franchises is usually they have a team that goes out and they'll even like go location to location to start building out these facilities. So I think that's another reason a franchise is great for these instances as well.
Do you have any examples of clients or deals where this strategy really paid off?
Yeah, I see it a lot in. We've financed a lot in like the preschools and children's schools, and so generally, some of them may start where they just take over an existing childcare, and then they start doing really well, and the next step is like they're building their school, and so then we're structuring as like a larger 7A or 504. These schools are extremely lucrative if run correctly, and the component of being able to add on the real estate, I think, is by far like when you're getting into owning a business, owning the real estate makes a lot of sense. So like if you can pair that together, the other advantage is too is you can get a longer amortization. If you just do a normal franchise working capital type of loan, it's going to be a 10-year term. But these loans will probably be 25 years on a real estate deal. So you see, then you're like, okay, well, I own the real estate. My payments actually, even with the real estate, ends up being the same. Now I get hundreds of thousands of dollars in write-offs. So that's why, like, what the smart people do is they buy the real estate. Generally, that's what you see that really creates a lot of wealth for these franchise owners, business owners.
Last question. What kind of return on investment and equity upside can someone realistically expect when owning both the business and the property?
I mean, that's definitely going to depend on the franchise you get into or the business you get in. It's also going to depend on where you buy the real estate and what that market's doing. And, so there's a million different variables, but I would just run, do your projections when you're building out for the SBA loan. Know your numbers, understand the real estate market, really do your homework. But generally, if you're in it for the long term and your business does well, obviously it's going to be a startup generally or expansion. But if those all run well, then your returns can be phenomenal. And also, you could probably get a good idea of what your soft and hard costs are, and then you're going to get an appraisal. What is it worth when it's built, right? When it's stabilized. So you're going to know, hey, if I'm in at $1.5 million, the as stabilized value is $2.2 million. I'm creating $700,000 of equity on paper as of today. So there's a lot of ways, plus all the write-offs, obviously. There's all these factors that really are very advantage for that person that's doing the real estate with the SBA loan.
All right, great. If you're looking to build real equity and not just cash flow, franchise models with real estate could be a smart path forward. Beau and his team help aspiring owners line up the funding, structure the deal, and identify models where the real estate play makes sense. You can connect with him at bookwithbeau.com to learn more. Thanks, Beau.
Thank you.
Are you ready? It's time to get the tools, prompts, and guidance you need to scale your business. With my team of VAs, my calendar stays full with qualified appointments. Now I want to help you do the same. Hi, I'm Beau Eckstein, and I've put together an exclusive ebook that will help you supercharge your productivity, scale your operation, and close more deals using virtual assistants and AI. Here are the key points you'll discover: productivity boost, scalable systems, and how to close more deals. In this free ebook, you'll discover proven strategies I've used in my own business. Strategies that have helped me go from doing it all myself to building a high-performing team that runs like a machine. Get your free copy now and unlock the secrets to growing your business faster than ever before. Please visit bizscalingplaybook.com.
Hey guys, Beau Eckstein here. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. We talk all things financing.